What's going on, everybody? I'm Lawrence Owen. This is Colts Law. This is a Patreon stream. That's right. We're more laid back right now. We're just going to talk whatever comes to mind, generally for Patreon members and for the live chat. The live chat should be linked up. If you are here, great. If you're not, well, I'm sorry. But if you are here, please smash that like button and hit subscribe if you're not subscribed. Tag that notification bell so that you're notified next time we go live or upload a video. This is kind of an insider's look to what it's like to be a Patreon member. We're going to have Patreon members joining in. We got one right now, obviously. Joe, what's up, Joe? We got Minkowski.
Minkowski.
It's good.
He's good.
Yeah, I was just pouring something and clicked.
It's all good. So basically, we're going to talk whatever. Let me drop this here. You can look in the comments since I'm going live through StreamYard rather than my OBS so that my guests can see the comments as well without having to actually go onto YouTube itself. But we were just having a conversation about Carson Wentz right before we went live, and they were like,
Joy,
talking about how, what are the odds that he gets traded and when he gets traded. And I'm like, as long as it's not Jimmy Garoppolo, if it's Jimmy Garoppolo, I'll drive my truck all the way to Indianapolis, drive right through Jim Irsay's private jet so that Jimmy has no way of getting to Indy. All right.
Although now McAfee's got that big contract, maybe Jim can call McAfee for a ride.
Yeah,
probably.
He owes him a couple.
But I told him, he'd probably have people lined up around the corner to pay for his bail money and his lawyer.
All right.
So yeah. Still kind of waiting for the rest of the crew to trickle in here.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get anything too heavy duty here, but it's officially clickbait season. Tuesday was the official kickoff of clickbait season. Between this week and the beginning of the league year, it's clickbait season, and it's in full effect today.
Speaking of clickbait season, Joe, Twitter is full, as Larry Brown just says, with supposed interest in Carson Wentz from the Steelers. Where would you go with that?
I'll give you a wet block of cheese for him.
You don't think your head coach and offensive coordinator would work well with Carson Wentz?
I don't.
They might. Joe just doesn't want him.
No, it's not. I don't. Look. Ken, let's get real here. I have stood up for Carson Wentz all season long. I have stood up for the guy. I've stood my ground. I think the guy deserves a shot. I personally, from my perspective, I feel like he is in the best place that he could possibly be in right now to get his career back where it once was projected to go. I don't feel like that's my personal opinion with it. And I mean, he's got the chemistry with Frank Reich. They've done things to help him improve, to put him in the best position that he can to succeed with what they've had to work with. So I feel like it's a disservice to talk about, okay, first of all, you don't even know if the Colts are going to want to get rid of him.
Yeah, it's all speculation.
It's all clickbait, speculation, all this stuff. Me personally, I don't see it. Would he fit Canada's scheme? I could see that. I could see that being potentially a fit. I don't know, though, in terms of chemistry. To me, is a big thing. It's a big thing. Culture is a big type of thing. I just feel like Carson Wentz is in the best place that he could possibly be right now. And I think that Pittsburgh has better options out there in terms of
fit.
They do.
Free agency and people who are already out there, as opposed to having to negotiate with a team for a quarterback you're not 100% sure about, who does have some question marks, obviously. I mean, he's even got question marks, with Colts people, having to negotiate on that contract. Now, if you were talking to me, next year about this, I think it would be easier to negotiate with the Colts or somebody, or it would be easier to Colts to get out from underneath his contract. I think the Colts are going to want more for Carson Wentz than what the Steelers are going to be willing to give up for a guy like him. That's my stance on that.
Okay. Yeah, in my personal opinion on Carson Wentz, like I said, it's all clickbait. It's all speculation whether or not he's going to be leaving or not. I completely and utterly agree with that statement. Yes. Does he have problems? Yes. I think he was robbed of a real chance, to be fair, with the Colts, because
I agree with that.
No off season for him, or a bunch of stuff that could go with that. Yeah. So I think that he was robbed of a real chance of seeing what he can truly do. What kind of weapons did he really like? When I say weapons, what kind of steady weapons did he have? Right, he had one guy that was there all the time, and that was it. And he had his connection with him. He showed it, with Michael Pittman Jr. But Paris Campbell in and out. T.Y. Hilton was in and out. All these guys, they didn't have a whole lot of really great, choices with guys for him to gain that connection with. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, because it was weird. Going into the year, I was like, oh man, these tight ends, I thought we'd see a lot of more production from Mo Alley-Cox, especially. But Colin Granson, I think 15 targets all year long. Mo Alley-Cox didn't even break 30. It's I just don't understand. And I know JT ate up some of those pass plays, but still, I feel like the tight ends needed to be utilized a little bit more, whether that was a Carson thing or a Reich thing, whatever. It just, for whatever reason, it wasn't there. And I think that would have gone a long way there again to maybe get that connection, with the Mo Alley-Cox. Right. And then that also opens it up a little bit more for a T.Y. Hilton or excuse me, some of the other. Zach Pascal, he just basically fell off the reception map, this year. These are guys that I really thought that would be rocks for Carson and stuff, and I just didn't work out this year.
Yeah, and not only that, but it's a great point you bring up there, Loyalist, and that was, I think, another part of it, and not just, if to take Carson Wentz out of that microcosm and to look at the team as an entire entity here. I also think you have to acknowledge that there were a lot of injuries on that team that a lot of people really didn't talk about. You heard about the buzz around the Titans because, they were doing so well with all these injuries. And you heard about the Ravens and all the injuries and whatever. But you didn't hear people talking about how many people on the Colts were banged up, and not just banged up, but coming back from very serious, severe injuries who didn't really get a full opportunity to be able to recuperate from that. So you get to the end of an 18-week season, and then, I'm not going to say I was surprised, but then if you look at like the injury situation in Indianapolis, it doesn't surprise me all that much that the wheels kind of fell off in week 18. And I feel like that was an ongoing thing with the Colts all year, where if it wasn't one guy, it was another. You went down to Arizona with no offensive line and somehow got a miracle win out of that because you had the right people healthy at the right time. But they were constantly being asked to do more with less this year. And I feel like that's an unfair indictment on Carson Wentz to say that and to zoom the camera in on him and say that guy's the problem here.
A lot of people bring up, we were better off with Phillip Rivers. If you actually go back to the 2020 season and you think about it, Phillip Rivers started the season off bad. Like his first 4 games were not very good.
Right.
And Carson Wentz started the season off as a quarterback better than what Phillip Rivers did his first 4 games. The last 4 games was kind of similar in the aspect the Colts were leading on the run game. If you noticed at the end of 2020, the Colts leaned on Jonathan Taylor, right? They did the same thing with Jonathan Taylor with Carson Wentz. Only that was like the last 8-9 games with Taylor at that point. And then, people want to talk about getting into the playoffs. Well, we didn't get into the playoffs. Well, you know what? We didn't win the playoffs against Buffalo because a certain quarterback that we had didn't have the arm strength to make those kind of throws.
Right.
Carson Wentz was making those passes late in the season, and they were getting dropped. Like he was hitting guys like he hit Paris Campbell twice. One of them was a dime right in his hands on a deep bomb with him wide open in stride.
That was a touchdown.
And he just dropped it, right? I'm not saying that Carson Wentz doesn't have his issues. I've said this 100,000 times. Yeah. He is guaranteed a WTF throw every game. I know that. Right? He's guaranteed it.
So is Matthew Stafford.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Matthew Stafford does the exact same thing.
But the thing is Matthew Stafford also has a receiving core that can allow you. No, I mean, not just Cooper Kupp. If you look through the whole year, they had a receiving core that allowed to overcome those type of plays. You know what I mean?
And a defense.
Yeah.
True. That helps.
The only thing I see right now is the actual true available options to go with quarterback outside. I don't see any that is an upgrade over Carson Wentz right now. No. Not true viable options. People want to bring up Kyler Murray. Guess what? Kyler Murray wants to stay in Arizona. He's done stated it. He stated it on his. He made a message. Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay has put out a statement stating they're all in on Rodgers this year, right? Russell Wilson has stated he didn't want to go anywhere. He stated that he was forcing the issue earlier last season because he wanted them to help him get the offensive line. But Seattle's not going to trade Russell Wilson. And outside of those 3 guys, there is no upgrade. There is no upgrade available. You want to talk about I don't even want to talk about Jimmy G. We had this discussion 13 minutes ago when we first got on here.
Yes, sir.
I don't want Jimmy G. I don't. He's awful.
Either. Nobody does.
Well, he's a younger version of Phillip Rivers, right?
God bless him. The
only thing is Phillip Rivers could actually has accuracy 15 yards down the field. Jimmy G is very good at throwing a dump off to guys in stride to get yak yards, right? And that team has the right players for that in San Francisco.
Right, that's what I was just
Debo and Kittle and all them.
Buddy is a great winner and fine and persona, whatever, to lead a team. But the team has to be built to the T for him to be successful. Whereas every team is not going to do that.
Well,
kind of like the Ravens built their team to fit what their quarterback was going to be.
Yeah. Now, the throw Cyborg, I'm going to bring this up. Hold on. What's up, Cyborg? I appreciate you being in here. It says, I can't praise the throw in a triple coverage to a player of Campbell's status. He was throwing to a freak. If he was throwing to a freak, sure. When he threw the football, it was not in the triple coverage. He was throwing it in the single coverage, and he threw him open. He threw him away from the safety and the other corner.
That throw was amazing, brother. I don't know if you remember it.
The corner and the safety wasn't able to get there in time, hit Campbell dead in the numbers. Had he caught it, no one would have touched him. He would have been gone for a touchdown. Now, he did throw another one earlier on. Again, he threw a WTF pass in the same game, which was stupid. Deep Patel. Is that Matt Eberflus in the middle? No.
Oh man!
You should change. Hey, you should put your last name as Eberflus, Matt.
Call yourself.
That would be so awesome.
Yeah, call yourself Flus on the stream.
Flus. Right? Well, who brought up the thing about Matt Stafford throwing a WTF? Was that you, Jack?
I did.
Okay, and I agree with you 100%. And somebody didn't like me taking Matt Stafford to throw an interception in the Super Bowl parlay. Who shall remain nameless. I knew it was going to happen.
I totally agree with Mr.
Just going to lay that one out there. So, it happens, but it goes to show, okay, when you have a guy like that, you can still win a Super Bowl if you've got the right pieces around these dudes.
Absolutely.
I'm not comparing, making a direct comparison there, but I that's one quality I think that those gentlemen both do have in common.
Okay, so Blue Nation says if we stick with Carson, which I'm not saying we should guarantee, I'm not a Wentz truther. Okay, I'm not a guy who's going to lay down and say Carson Wentz is all this. He's not. Okay, but I think he wasn't given the proper opportunity. And
Carson Wentz realist.
Yeah, I'm a realist, yes. But he says if we stick with him, we should get him some weapons that can catch the ball and not drop it. There was a lot of drops that Carson threw to him, to different receivers, including Michael Pittman Jr. He dropped one into Michael Pittman Jr.'s hands perfectly where Michael would jump up, two hands, just went right through, ended up being an interception because of a tip. I agree. All right. I've talked about it. I think the Colts have enough cap space to probably make one splash play grab in free agency this offseason. That's as the cap space sits now. That's not if they don't do a little finagling with, restructuring, stuff like that. But as is, I think they could probably grab one. I think one of two guys, two positions should be grabbed, either a wide receiver or a veteran pass rusher. If they go for a wide receiver, Allen Robinson, in my opinion, is the dude that the Colts would want.
You bring him in for?
I'd give him 18 mil. I think he's one of the best receivers in the NFL.
Allen
Robinson, Chicago.
Yep.
I mean, I think he would be a good fit. I don't know about 18 mil. I mean,
he was paid that much last year. And he wants he's wanted out of Chicago for 2 years.
Yeah.
I do not
obviously.
But I don't think that I want the guy out of Tampa Bay because he does have drop issues. He was one of the leading, Chris Godwin was one of the leading drops in the NFL the last 2 seasons. The last 2 years he's led the league. He not led fully, but top 10, right, in drops. So that's not a good situation. You don't, if you're trying to get away from that, then can Godwin get open? Absolutely, for sure.
Yeah.
I have no question about his ability to get open, but I don't want to see him drop the ball. So
how many years you give Robinson if you're pulling the trigger on that?
3 years. Yep.
3.
So you're going $55 million over 3 years.
Yeah,
that's a good deal. That's a good deal.
I don't know. I do. I'm more along the lines of Joe. I'm thinking 14.
Yeah, because I mean, look,
he ain't gonna come for 14.
He's 29 years old.
Yep.
He's gonna be 30. I just feel like
he's still playing at the peak of his abilities, though. That's the thing, from what I'm seeing. And the issue here is the Colts are going to have to spend big. The Colts and Chris Ballard, if they're going to go get a talent, don't get a mediocre high-end talent. Like a just over a medium high talent. You
mean
need
like
something in that aspect. All right. Yes. I don't want a guy at the absolute end of his career and overspend, right? Because let's face it. I love T.Y. He's at the end of his career.
Of course, everybody loves T.Y.
But I don't want one of those guys that people look at and go, well, he's an okay receiver. He's a good receiver, but is he really going to make a difference? I want a guy who can come in and make a difference right now. Yes, exactly.
Now, Larry Brown brought up something in chat here. I don't know if you can highlight that. I don't want to hijack the whole, but on the note of weapons in that. Okay, so what about Zach Ertz? Brandon has brought up Zach Ertz in the past in our private discussions, in Discord, about the possibility of that that reunion between Reich, Wentz, Ertz. But I feel like Ertz is kind of in that category where maybe he's at the tail end of his career, possibly. And what do you think about that?
Me personally, I think Ertz is, as we're talking, getting a guy or the dude or whatever, getting somebody of higher value. Ertz is somebody that you sort of look at later on, and once you've gotten that splash made, once you've made it, because Ertz doesn't move the needle that much for me. Ertz is more of a
the only reason he would be somewhat of a priority is Carson's comfortability with him from his Philly days.
Yeah. And there again, I'm not even going to look at Ertz if Doyle's, stays on. So if Doyle leaves, now you have more money to put toward that splash player. But then does that mean that you're still going to have what was it, 8? I think he made last year, Doyle.
Something like that. Between 6 to 8, something like that.
And so then, for me, I think I'd rather take the little extra to put towards maybe getting, and I'm not saying that, like a Devontae Adams or somebody higher up on the food chain and go for that big splash this year, because that's what I think offensively this team needs more gravitas, more game-changing type players. Yeah. We've got a lot of those guys on the defense. I feel like you look at our offense, our game changers are a left guard. Our game changers, aren't in positions that can just really, like JT. Now, JT's a game changer. He touches the ball and he can snap that bad boy for 85 and a score. I'd like to have somebody in the passing game. That's where I was like looking at Mike Gesicki a little more, because I felt like he was more dynamic in the passing game. So,
that's a good one. That's
a
good one.
Oh, okay. That's awesome.
I've been a huge supporter of Mike Gesicki for a long time, but all my Patriots guys that I talk to tell me if I come within 5 feet of them that I'll be in a scope. Because
they like him, or just because
they like him. All right. Dolphins fans don't want Mike Gesicki gone. The only way the Colts go after Zach Ertz is if Jack Doyle retires. From what it sounds like, they're leaving it up to Doyle. They want him back. If he wants to come back, they're going to keep him. If he does come back, they have their 3 tight ends. You're not going to have 4 tight ends on your 53-man roster. And you got a rookie tight end from last year that was developing as the year went on. And I think give Kylan Granson another year or two. I think that he could become that guy that tight end that can stretch the field.
Yeah, you talk about Carson sort of having a rough break. Kylan Granson had a rough break. We constantly had to bring the tight ends in to support the offensive line that was injured, and and the left tackle was lacking. So we didn't get to run. He didn't get to get as many snaps at that tight end 3 spot as you might have thought going into the year, just because of all the injuries and the way the coach had to scheme things a little differently than what we were hoping for at the beginning of the season.
So what's everybody's? Hold on, real quick. Matt, what's your thoughts on Gallup and Njoku?
I like Gallup, and I like Njoku. I think is very good. I would rather have Gallup over Njoku.
But they're different players. One's a tight end, one's a wide receiver.
Right, but we're pretty much saying that we got one guy to choose.
Yeah.
I think you guys need a tight end over like if you were going to go get an Allen Robinson over a thing because also you can there's a wide range of wide receiver in the draft also. So maybe an Njoku in the thing, and if you were going to get a splash receiver in the like a Allen Robinson, and Njoku might be a great idea. You know what I'm saying, over an Ertz. You know, so that might be the way to go. And besides, there's 10 great wide receivers.
Yeah.
And last year there was only 5 receivers taken in the first round. So there's gonna be some good wide receivers able to get in the second round.
They're comparing this year's wide receiver group in the draft to the 2019 version. So
yes.
That brings up a good question. But I understand what you're saying about the talent and stuff in the wide receiver.
Yeah.
But is that really what Carson needs, or does he need a known quantity? Because like right now, the way it looks, him and MPJ had a good connection, but there was no other second receiver that was that guy that he felt comfortable with. So what I'm wondering is, you sit there and get a rookie, huh?
He's good with Pittman.
That's why I said MPJ.
He's got Pittman. Let's say hypothetically you were able to get Pittman, you got the cap space, you get Allen Robinson, you got Pittman. Okay, you have the money, you have a little extra money to go get Njoku. Okay, then you want to go make a good like second round, and you grab one of those great wide receivers that are left over in the second round. Man, then you're bringing up a whole bunch of wide receiver talent, because you guys got a great defense. Now you have a great defensive coordinator that's going to use that defense to what it can do. Okay, so now that's the one thing you guys are missing is a great wide receiving core. Okay, so that's the focal thing. I mean, you guys need to splash some things around still. You just don't need to hold off on that wide receiving core, but that's the one thing that you guys need to look on is that wide receiving core is the thing. If you guys pull together a good wide receiving core, you guys are going to be lights out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. If we can find an answer at left tackle, or if Eric Fisher can come back and be a little...
Right, because you could only draft 2 guys. You guys are going to pick up a guy maybe in the second round, and a tight end, and you guys already have a tight end. So that's a nice mixture of things to pick up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. Hold on, guys. Hey, Brandon. I think you're playing a video game or something on your phone or something, because I can hear it.
Oh, sorry.
I can't remember what that was.
I was trying to figure it.
I thought it was Matt when he was rocking. That's why I was like, okay.
Oh no.
I started.
Yeah, it could have also been me. I was putting down a drink, but I have CP and I fucking froze for a sec.
No, it was me.
It was Brandon, because I was testing everyone's mic by muting them individually. I found out it was Brandon.
He went Sherlock on you.
Yes, I did. Okay. Josh Sharf, what's up?
I would like to extend my apologies to YouTube for
dropping. Yeah, it's all good. We'll try to ignore what happened. Just a couple minutes. We're 28 minutes in. Hopefully, no one's seen that.
Well, you never know. But I had a struggle there, so.
It's funny because when I was setting this stream up and I was trying to turn monetization on, it says unavailable. We're not allowing you to do it. Turn the monetization on. They must have knew you were coming on, dude.
Well, they know me already by now, but they don't know the reasons,
We're on their Thursday schedule. Sorry, ain't happening.
So you can always just donate. So
I'll make up for it in a second.
Josh Sharp says, I think everyone wants to compare Wentz to Andrew Luck, and that is unfair. Boy, I've seen it a few times, and that is utterly unfair.
No,
completely unfair.
Completely unfair. Yeah.
I mean,
I think anybody that looks at these two, they say that Wentz has luck type qualities, you know what I mean? But to sit there, I mean, that would be where I would stop it, me personally. I'm not going to sit there and start comparing numbers because, I mean, totally two different players, two different setups, just
two different
night
beasts.
and day.
Night and day.
Yeah, definitely. Brown says, how about I need to hear something from Matt on this one since he knows a little bit about this guy. How about Carson's old friend Nelson Agholor? Since he's a free agent.
Just to let everybody know, Matt's a Patriots fan, so he's got a different perspective on things.
What's up, Matt?
What you think, Matt?
You think Carson and Nelson Agholor could come together?
Uh-oh.
Did I lose Matt? Oh,
no. I'm kind of thinking. It's a possibility.
The Patriots.
Yeah.
Now we may have lost him.
He doesn't want to see him with the Patriots.
He sat there. He's like, "Yeah, he shut it off himself."
I did.
There you
I
go.
did. Okay. All right. Oh, yes. Okay. I think he did well. They did well together in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, by all means.
What's your feeling of his time there with you guys? I mean, what did you glean from that?
Well, here it is. Him and Matt Jones had a hard time in the very beginning getting on the same page. So I don't think it was anything about the deep ball or anything like that. I just I feel they were having a hard time. I honestly thought Nelson Agholor. I don't want to harsh on him, but I feel he was having a problem learning the playbook of the Patriots. It is we all know it is a deep book. It is very intuitive. So so he was I think he was having a hard time then. And once he kind of started getting the playbook, then he had to get the timing down of that deep ball with Mac Jones. So you could tell towards the middle of the season, things were starting to get it, and they were starting to get those passes down, those mid-range passes, and things were starting to go toward the middle of the season, and then the wins started coming on, because it started ranging out things. He was getting the passes, and then things were starting to go, and everything was starting. The timing was starting to go down. The things, so they were starting to go. Everything was starting to go better,
Agholor's known for his speed, but his biggest downfall, a lot of people say, was that he had injury problems. How was he injury wise last year with the Patriots?
I think he had. Don't quote me on this. I think he had one. I think he had like one injury
where he missed a game.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, missing one game's not so bad.
Yeah,
most players miss 1 or 2 games in a season,
right.
Because let's face it. I mean, that's a lot, especially at wide receiver. It's a high impact
wide receiver.
Game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to look it up, but yeah.
He only started 13 games last year for you.
13 games, yeah. So
he missed 4 games. Wow.
He missed 4 games, yeah. So he was the thing. Yeah.
All right. Well, it is what it is. That's better than missing.
That's not bad, actually, for a receiver.
It's better than missing the 10 games that Paris Campbell or 12 games that Paris Campbell missed.
Right.
Because you take his last 2 seasons, add them together, and he still doesn't have as many games played.
Right. Guys, I'm going to drop an ad here. Guess what? I just got my refund 2 days. I sent it back on Tuesday. I got my refund, so I'm going to order it when I get off of here. My Ultra Game Sherpa. If you want to, hey, Ultra Game sponsors me, and I have a Sherpa coming, and it's this one right here. And if you want one, you could use my link in the description to get one. What's going on, everybody? This episode is brought to you by Ultra Game. Ultra Game is officially licensed by the NFL. Ultra Game NFL is a reintroduction to the classic NFL fan gear, boasting innovative design and fabric updates for the fresh fits for today's stadium goers that appeal to everyone. And if you use the link in the description right now, you get this great Ultra Game NFL Men's Sherpa lined full fleece hoodie sweatshirt. That's right. And this full soft fleece hoodie with Sherpa polyester lining ensures comfort and warmth in the cold weather. Length and fits as perfect as a layering piece for any physical activity. Just make sure you use the link in the description. That way you could get your Ultra Game Men's Sherpa full lined zip fleece hoodie sweatshirt at a discounted price. Let's get back to the video. Yeah, I just threw that damn ad together really quick. You could tell.
No snuggies.
It looks,
No
it
snuggies.
looks awesome, bro. It's very, very, very well done.
Again, these are all my not all my Patreon members, but quite a few of them. And if you want to be a patron member as well, you could use the link down in the description below Brandon, below Jack. It's only $5 a month, and we do this every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come in, hang out, talk, whatever comes up, and you can do that for only $5 a month.
The best $5 ever spent, guys.
Amen.
Yep.
All right.
So you know how Ballard likes to double dip and stuff? Do you think that there's a position that he with things being, not having a first round pick and stuff, do you think there's an area where he'll double dip, whether it's one in free agency, one in draft, or both of them in the draft?
I don't know. See, here's the issue. Okay, so yeah, I get where you're talking about the double dipping.
Mm-hmm.
He's been double dipping on the defensive line for quite a while. His end of season presser, which is kind of upsetting me and a lot of people. He said we have a ton of talent at the wide receiver position.
I know.
Where does he
He
see
said
it,
that.
bro?
He said yes. He said that straight up, and I get it. A lot of those guys are young. They need developed, like Strawn, right? Mike Strawn definitely needs development.
Patman. How about Patman?
Des Patman.
Good Patman.
Yeah, Des Patman. He's more of a we got young guys, but I don't
Ashton,
know.
too.
Yeah, Ashton. Yeah, we got a lot of young guys there, but man,
But I would take what he said at that end of year presser kind of with a grain of salt, because you're not going to throw the whole team under the bus. As much as I was the first one to want to do so, I'm not the GM. You know what I mean? I'm not in a position that's actually a decision maker of this franchise. I'm a fan. I'm a diehard, and I cuss when we lose.
I'm sorry, but Goki's he's the master of understatements there, because he was ready to burn the whole thing down after that Jaguars game.
you wanted Allard fired, Wright fired.
He wanted the team taken away from Ursay.
Get rid of Carson Wentz.
To trade it.
You can go. You
Get
can
rid of
go to
Darius
my Twitter,
Leonard.
Goki Colts
I think we're gonna
fans
fire the owner.
for evidence that I was pissed, and I
Get rid of
stand
Quenton
behind
Nelson.
every single one of those tweets.
Stewart, Buckner, clean out your lockers.
Joe brings up a point I want to bring up. Oh my goodness. There are a lot of people on Twitter talking about how the Colts should just trade away Quenton Nelson and Jonathan Taylor.
And what? Really burn up the joint?
And to trade away Jonathan Taylor for a first round pick, because at this point he's as high as he's going to get, is what they say, and that you could get a first rounder for him.
Yeah, we should get our.
And hold on, and then hopefully get a late first round pick for Quenton Nelson, and then that would give us 2 first round picks that we could then use to trade for a quarterback.
There we go. Or wait for Arch Manning to come out in 2027.
That's what they're.
Okay, so you go and get a quarterback, right? But now he's got an offensive line that the left side, if you take Quentin away, and you don't know who your left tackle is, okay? So now you've got whatever this new quarterback is behind the left side, that is just going to be an absolute sieve. Okay. And then, okay. So what do you got? What's the quarterback's best friend? Whenever your offensive line is the running back's gone too. So I just don't. I mean, okay, I understand that you can sit there and say, okay, you want to get some value out of JT. First off, these guys are the top. Trying to take my fan mouth. They're the top 3 in their position, both of them. Okay, I think that would be a fair statement. Now, me, I know, but me, I'm like, they're both number 1. Okay, but that's what I'm saying. I'm just trying to hedge my bets. Why do you get rid of a player that has performed, especially, in both of these guys' names? They're both have years to play. You know what I mean? Now, I understand the running back and you pay a running back but I'm telling you right now, I would feel much happier just build around Carson. Let him, he's familiar with these guys, okay? It's not, he's going to come in next year and it's not going to be, hopefully, this as crazy and chaotic as it has been over the last 12 months for the dude. Okay, he's going to have his housing is all set up. He's familiar with this receiving core. Like I said, you still got an offensive line that, you can take your hat off to. You got a running back that you just want to sit there and give him the ball as much as humanly possible and just run this thing and let's see if we can take that next step. Man.
One thing that Chris Ballard has stated since day one with the Colts is we are going to pay our own guys. Mm-hmm. You perform on the field, you're going to get rewarded. And trading away guys who are playing at the best at their position in the NFL is completely opposite that message. Completely opposite that message. Now, hey, Smooth Fit, appreciate you being in here. Now that I've got you in here, give me a moment. I don't know if anyone can. Let me do it. I'm going to drop Smooth. I'm going to drop the link to the Discord. Give me a sec. All right. Into the chat. Copy. No. Yep. Copy. Okay, there it is. Bam. And then I'm going to come in here. Now, that should work. I just dropped it in the link in the chat. Click on that. Then you can join my Colts Law Discord where all of us in here are part of it.
We're just part of the show.
Yep. But Smooth's been having a problem getting into the Discord because every time I send him a link, it expires by the time he gets to it because Discord links
5 minutes.
I think it's like 12 hours. You got to be quick on your thumb. You can't just let it sit in the email for a couple days. It won't be any good afterwards. But here's something. Okay. The only one. Now, I love Quenton Nelson. There's nothing not to love about Quenton Nelson, but there is one issue that bothers me about Quenton Nelson, and that is he has back problems. Mm-hmm. And he's had back problems since he's came into the league. And
because of his size, bro.
It is. And that's not something that's going to go away playing NFL football.
You're 6'7", 300 pounds. Bro.
It's only going to get worse year after year. Right? That's a problem that I have. Now, I love Nelson. I want to keep Nelson. But if Quenton Nelson's back problems start to escalate to the point where he's missing games or it affects his play on the field, then what? Right? Then what do you do? That's an issue.
I understand what you're saying, but there again, you look at what does everybody think Quenton Nelson's greatest asset as a player is? Me personally, I think it's his technique. And he is really, really honed in and worked on that technique. And that goes a long way to, most linemen have back problems. Okay. You're sitting there, you're banging your spines, taking that jar. Most of these guys have back problems. And I understand what you're saying about Q because, you lose Q that, especially once you sign them to this, re-sign them and stuff. That's a big payday to sit there and fear for. But you know what I mean? All right. Well,
Maybe.
I don't know that he wants to play until he's 45 and so on and so forth. But I mean, like I said,
I think he just means.
I know.
He just means Alex Guerrero's program.
I know, but everybody's like, "Hey, once you're on TB12, you can play forever."
Now, that's different for linemen, though. It's different by position. It's 45 for a quarterback in this league where you can't breathe on the quarterback.
Yeah. Well, look at Wentworth. He's what, 44? Is he on TB12?
I think he's 40.
40. He just
he's
was
not
40.
He's not a quarterback.
No, but he was talking about a position.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, linemen are playing till they get pretty long in the tooth as well nowadays.
Well, Wentworth is one. He's a freak of nature.
Well, Wentworth is on the BT 21. I don't think he's dealing anything that has to do with Tom Brady.
You also have to eat like Tom Brady. It's not just the bands, okay?
It's not like a Boy Scout. You just get the badge and bam, you're good for life, right?
Green
avocado ice cream.
Green tomato juice at 3 o'clock in the morning. What?
All right, so one thing there's something about Quenton Nelson that a lot of people don't know. Loyalist and I can attest to this because we watched it firsthand during training camp last year. We all know Quenton Nelson, Carson Wentz both missed all of training camp practices. We know that. But the difference was what we saw Quenton Nelson when they were running position drills. Quenton Nelson would walk his happy butt out there, boot, crutches, everything, and walk right up to these guards and say, and start working with them and teaching them, what proper technique and stuff like that during the drills, and that's, when you got a guy that's that good and that well respected, out there trying to teach guys,
I wouldn't want a dude like that to go anywhere.
No.
Mm-hmm. Pay him anything he wants on a lifetime deal. Who cares?
Yeah, I guess the message you would send if you got rid of Quenton Nelson and this whole mentality of he's only a left guard. I think,
there's no
tell Aaron Donald that, tell DeForest Buckner that, these guys are banging against these guards week in and week out.
There's no such thing as only a left guard or only a quarterback or only a running back, bro.
Well, you saw the complete opposite antithesis to that.
It depends on the guy. It depends on the guy. And if you're a dude like Quenton Nelson has been since day one, but I think that was a steal in the draft when we got him at 6. People thought that Ballard was a moron, but this guy could have gone top 2 in my opinion. Really?
Yeah, you redraft that draft, and Quenton Nelson goes number 2. What's so funny? I'm missing it.
Joe's checking to make sure his microphone was working because every time he's tried talking, people interrupt him.
So what were you saying earlier in the year, that everybody needed to get fired, everybody needed to get traded?
I did. Yes, that's what happens when you lose.
That's why I was checking to see if my mic was on. Okay,
that's what happens when you lose to Mr. Pringles' team. Okay, God bless the Jackson.
Okay, but we weren't talking about Pringles.
We've lost to them every year for 7 years.
The clowns.
For real though. You saw. Okay, so I've been telling you this all year.
What do you call their stadium, bro?
He had nothing but weapons. Nothing but weapons. And you didn't have an offensive line. So
a guy I think the Colts should actually take a really good close look at as a free agent right now is DJ Chark.
Yes.
That's another one.
That would be a great pickup.
Wow. I would love. He is a speedster with hands, and now the only issue is he has injury issues. That's a problem.
Is Marvin Jones too long in the tooth for you?
I'm not a big Marvin Jones fan right now.
All right.
No, he's 32 this year?
Yeah.
He might have been a halfway decent step up last year. He still got wheels. But he didn't really show anything this year. And again, he wasn't in a great situation either. I mean, he was in Detroit.
Where did he play
another
though?
crap
Where did he
team.
play though?
Yeah, exactly. But so the Robinson, the Robinson thing makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense now that he's UFA. You don't have to give up capital for him.
Sure.
I think it makes more sense than anybody else who was listed there. I think it makes more sense than Ertz. I think if you look at Robinson and then Gesicki as possible guys.
Yeah, see, that's a lot of money. It
is a lot of money.
Yeah, and I just don't know that we would be able to swing both of them because I think Gesicki is going to go probably closer to the 10 range.
Oh, he'll
10 to 12 is where I'm thinking.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what about the whole notion? Okay, so if you take a guy like Gesicki then, and then you hope that Campbell can.
I mean, Campbell. Where I'm at with Campbell now, is keep him on the field, keep him on the roster, let the guy go into training camp and stuff. And if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I'm not going to sit there and put any eggs in that basket because that basket has been falling apart
all the eggs are broke.
I mean, I love the kid. I do. I love everything about his mentality, the way he's dealt with his career. Because, I mean, to be mentally tough enough to come back one season from an injury, let alone 2 and now 3 seasons, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he's on the cheap. Yeah, it's his 4th year of his rookie contract. I'd be all right with keeping him for this year, but
is this his
unless he is able to stay 100% healthy through his final rookie contract year and really show something impressive during the season, then he's not going to be back for 2023.
For me, I would love to see the yardage from him, but for me, it's games. I need to see how many games this kid can play.
Yeah, you can't play
how many snaps he gets. You know what I mean? Because he could go out there and get 850 yards in 8 games or 9 games, and I'm still going to be like, no, that wasn't enough.
Yeah,
if he played 15 games, you know what I mean, and then gets decent numbers, if he gets somewhere close to the 1,000 mark, then I'm going to have to be like, okay, can we do a cheaper 2-year deal or something? I still don't want to go a long contract because of his history.
I mean, he's still got a year left, right? No, come on.
No, thank you. Thank you, Infinite Highlights. All due respect to you, but no, thank you.
Take Tanner.
No, I think it was please take Tanner.
Yeah, I think that's a Tennessee fan. That's a Tennessee fan right there.
I'll give you a warm bucket of spit for Tannehill. He's not even.
No. They can give us what 2 first-round picks and we'll give them Wentz in a wet bag of a wet.
He'll give you a cold Happy Meal and a hot Coke for him.
And a broken toy.
I'm not trading one for 1 for 1. No way. No.
So did you guys?
He's official.
Yeah, there you go, brother.
Yeah,
that's what I thought, bro.
We didn't know that. If not, he's saving face with it. One of the
right. It's all good though. It's all good.
Yeah. Do you think there's an area that the Colts double dip though this year?
It's possible, but I mean, really, I think the Colts have a lot of talent on the team. I've been saying this. I've been saying this all off season, especially once I started looking at the situation of the film. Is I think the Colts have the talent. I think they lack a little bit in certain specific areas. I think they need better at the Sam linebacker. I think they need more depth at safety. Maybe a wide receiver, and definitely a left tackle.
We definitely need a wide receiver.
But I don't know if we double dip like hardcore. I don't see you using a 2nd-round pick and using free agency money to grab, a high-end player of the same position. Yeah. I don't see that.
Because somewhere I was thinking it was in the secondary. You know what I mean? It's because you can get a decent quality cornerback early in the draft in the second or third round. And I mean, granted, he doesn't have to sit there and exactly, Larry Brown, and get a cornerback. And in free agency, there was a lot of safeties coming out from what I've been, which obviously we don't know who's going to actually hit free agency and stuff, but there's some talent there.
But at cornerback, I think I like the Colts starting group. We need depth.
Hey,
I like the starting group.
Does Glow walk?
That's a tough decision. He was the most dependable offensive lineman the Colts had this year.
No, I agree with you. That's why I'm saying
he wasn't the best, but he was the most dependable.
But he was in there every game.
Do you have a first round? Do you have a first round pick this year?
No,
okay,
sir.
all right, okay.
The Eagles have it.
We do, but he's throwing the football currently.
Okay, all right.
With both hands.
Right.
Got it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. All right. So what do you guys think about Cam and Taron?
Now, I was looking at Cam Robinson last year. I was actually looking at Cam Robinson last year for the Colts before the league year started. He was a free agent. His market value was about $10 million. And I thought, you know what? Okay. Costanzo retired. Okay. Maybe that was the guy I was looking at.
Was that only
because we know Ballard likes his budget cap types of situations. You could have gotten a quality, not necessarily, a great left tackle, but you could have gotten a quality left tackle for a relatively decent price. You don't know what his market value is, but as soon as the Jags, 2 G's, by the way, franchise tagged him.
I love how he had to.
No, seriously. Okay, now it's like he's going to want to go break the bank somewhere. So I'm going to take a hard pass on that one.
And I'm me personally, I'm not a fan of Matt Pryor at left tackle at all. If he's my swing tackle and we need him in an emergency, all on board. You know what I mean? But to sit there and say that I want this guy trained,
like the game where everyone was out. God bless him. Thank you for covering, sir. But go back to your position. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd rather him be that swing tackle guy, and there again, with him and Penter, and if I would love to bring back both Reed and Glow. I really would. I mean, let's just stay with that. You know what I mean? And then
offensive line continuity is key for a football team, bro.
The only issue is, how much are we going to end up spending on the offensive line? Is it going to be $120 million freaking dollars? I mean, holy crap!
What's the salary cap again? 175 or something?
208.
208.
208.
It was 185 last year. It's up to 208, and then people have the option for a rollover based on gate revenue.
Let's spend one.
Oh, there's Ray. What's up, Ray?
The group just got smarter.
Who invited this guy?
That's how you build a football team. That's sustainable, bro.
Real quick shout out. Real quick shout out. Truett Tressler said that he's watching, but he can't join because he's not feeling very well. So gets feeling well, Truett. Hope you get feeling well a lot faster.
Yeah. Come on.
Infinite, you're welcome for Autry. You're welcome for Autry. I hope he stays pretty good for you guys, but he's getting up there in age, so that's the reason why the Colts got rid of him. We're
just grateful you picked up Julio, so we don't have to keep hearing about that.
And the thing about I'm going to say about that is, okay, you're welcome for Autry, but then you overpaid for Dupree. So overpaid. I don't know what Yins are doing down there, but you kind of cut your nose off.
And Joe, I remember the time I was watching another show where you called in talking about Danico.
Yeah, another show that shall not be named. Okay.
Yeah, I was watching that show, and you were on the right track, saying that they overpaid for a certain defensive player.
I don't know.
You were right.
What up, Ray?
Just a kid from Northside.
What up, Ray?
Ray, are you muted?
What's going on, fellas?
No, he just got done with his stream.
I'm just observing the show. I gotta go do my halftime stuff. I'm just letting my voice give a We were going off on Chiefs fans tonight. I was having way too much fun. So we're just.
Oh man, I gotta watch that.
They are imploding. They are crumbling at the seams right now.
Well, good for them.
Why? Are people being too unfair to Patrick Mahomes' fiance?
No.
Should they ease up off of her?
No.
Did you not see the shitstorm on Twitter today?
Oh yeah,
dude. Somebody put out some like I guess it's like a tier 2 media outlet. So it'd be like my website, like not a MSM, like an independent. Put out this article from quote unquote sources that there's been tension between Mahomes and Ben-Ami all season. I mean, it was like a hit piece on Ben-Ami, or Ben-Ami, whatever. Went through the whole thing, and it's deleted now. They had to delete the post because it made. However,
because it was clickbait.
The last 14 hours has just been this explosion of a direct split down the middle on the Chiefs kingdom. Just like, I mean, a civil war between the two of them. And I was just there. I was just there for the ride, dude. I was just
you trolling.
You see him waving the fan, waving the fan on that flip.
So I have a friend. I have a content creator friend. He works for Arrowhead. Brit Chief, right? Brad. Mm-hmm. He DMs me and he's like, dude, this fan base, and he's big Chiefs guy. He's like, dude, this fan base does not know how to deal with success. And I was just like, I just wrote him back. I was like, laugh things. I'm like, well, I said, well, not 1, not 2, not 3. Oh no, wait, 1, right? He just writes exactly. But no, I wasn't even trolling. I was just there. Like, I was legitimately just watching. Like, it was for me not to get involved. That's how entertaining it was. You know what I mean? Because
it was like a guard gnome.
It was just phenomenal to watch. Like, it was amazing. I wish it would have been like, dude, I've been on Chiefs YouTube pages today, watching the guys take both sides of the argument. So they're all fighting over, Ben-Ami needs to shut up. Mahomes made him, and then it turns out the article is BS. And then that's when it just went. It's been a good 12 hours. It's been fun. It's been a good 12 hours, and I'm exhausted now by it. So
Patrick Mahomes' fiance brings on all that stuff herself with the teaming up with his brother that they do, and the fact that Patrick can't control these two humans that are supposed to be his support system and his diehards, and they come from inside his own family, is baffling to me.
That's his entourage, man.
All of it. Like, he must allow this stuff to go on. Like, there's no way that I would be in the NFL and my brother would be such a clown.
Oh, if I had a brother in the NFL, I would totally live off his fame. The way that I don't know if I'd be such a douchebag, but I'll admit it to everybody.
He's got a lot of work to do before he gets douchebag status.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still got a lot of work before he can even get up that high up the food chain.
Bro.
But hey, if your voice is taken out on you, try some M&M's, brother. It
Really?
helps. Yes, sir.
I got a question.
Thank you.
How are you simply the brother and fiance of the quarterback? Like, I don't remember Peyton Manning's wife being on the sidelines in New England.
Okay, you do realize there's been a few changes over the last 2 decades?
Who the heck are these people?
I mean, I'm freaking 50 years old and I even understand it.
Who the heck are these people to be anywhere near the in an opposing stadium, the sideline, or even in your own stadium by NFL protocols? Since we're so big in the time of protocols, why are there people that are not team personnel anywhere near the sidelines? The sidelines are a sacred territory, bro.
Do you want to know why? Why? I'll tell you right now. Same reason the NFL will never fix the referees either.
Mm-hmm.
Because a whole bunch of us are on a screen right now. This is live, right? Like Lawrence, this is talking to an audience about this. And we live in a world where any attention is good attention, and they bring attention to the NFL. And there are TikTok fans. I'm telling you right now, there are TikTok fans that I guarantee you watch Kansas City Chiefs games because of Jackson Mahomes. Yep. Like kids that follow him. Yep. So it's good. That's why he's there. We don't have to like it. We don't have to agree with it. But it's in this world of, I mean, here's the thing. I say this all the time because sometimes I go off about TikTok. I have a TikTok account where I post stuff like sports stuff, but it's I hate it. I don't do it enough. It's a diet, whatever. But you flick through TikTok, you see things. It's crazy. I don't do the dances and shit. You watch it and you go, so stupid. However, there would have been a time that people would have said, what idiots are going to sit around on a video platform talking about sports like they're radio guys or TV guys? You know what I mean? So I understand that with each generation or with each, growing with times, things are going to change. So I may not be a big TikTok guy, but I have to accept the TikTok world.
Twitter's been around since 1997.
And the thing is also, to Ray's point, the negative is going to get more clicks than the positive is.
By the way,
we're starting a Twitch page tomorrow. Like Mike is setting me up. Like I got to sign. Like dude, he's going to set it up because, like, we have to basically move on from Facebook because our Facebook page is dead. Like it's like we get nothing on Facebook. We have no engagement on Facebook whatsoever.
Are you starting Twitch?
Yeah, so we're going to Twitch. I don't even know what Twitch is.
All right.
But Michael has told me that.
I have a Twitch page. I have a Twitch account. I just haven't streamed on it in eons. Well, I was streaming games on there.
Yeah, well, that's what I know. It's for games. That's what I said to him. It's for games. But he said, so is Discord. No. He goes, it's changing. He said, everybody, sports guys are getting onto it. So we're moving platforms.
You're going to have to compete with young girls with OnlyFans accounts. I'm just going to say, if you're going to move the Twitch, that's what you're going to.
Yeah, that's I saw that on Twitter.
You can stream simultaneously on YouTube and Twitch at the same time.
Yeah, with StreamYard, you could do that to like up to 5, I think.
Different platforms.
Three different platforms on the. It depends what level you have.
What level you have? Yeah,
I paid for 3.
Yeah, that's all I pay for too. But I mean, I think it's like if you pay.
You can go up to 10.
Yeah,
you can go up to 10 different platforms because I know, because some people will have it on like 5 different YouTube channels and 3 different Twitter. I know that because I've thought about at times going, okay, maybe I can run it on both Twitter accounts, like the business Twitter account and my personal Twitter account. But then I can't stream it anywhere else. I'm like, okay, we'll do one Twitter, we'll go to Twitch, and we'll go to because like Mike comes in to me go Twitch. I go, but I can only do 3. Right? I said, like, he goes, what engagement do you get on Facebook? So I went and looked and came back. I'm like, none. I'm like, nothing. Like, I get like, I always get like a like on my, like from Facebook on the page, and it's my dad. So
Ray, what
about make your dad go to Twitch? What about make your dad go to Twitch, and he's gonna have to deal with all that OnlyFans stuff.
I will set him up with. My dad would love that. My dad would be like, "Thank you for sending me to this website, son." I'll set my dad up with a Twitter account. He can watch it on Twitter. I'll say,
my dad. Football team in Europe, right? They broke my heart yesterday. What are we gonna do about that?
With the comeback? What, with the 1-1 tie?
No, that was a letdown, man. That's Bayern Munich. They should be winning 7-0 that game.
Yeah, no, I know. I almost threw a cup through the TV. I was frustrated. I'll just leave it at that.
I'm sitting there going, remember, we're on YouTube.
We should pick it up and give it a suplex.
Yeah, I always said if I was going to smash a TV, I'm going to do it right. You know what I mean?
Well, there you go.
You got to make it worth it because
I've gone through 2 of them that way.
Suplex it.
But yeah, no.
As long as there were no couches burning.
I was frustrated.
No animals were harmed. No animals were harmed.
Funny about burning couches. Tell you another story about my dad. My old man used to when I was younger, he used to get drunk, fall asleep with a smoke in his mouth on the couch all the time, right?
Same.
Did you know that as kids, we got used to sleeping through the smoke alarm and waking up the next morning and just seeing the couch out in the backyard, right? Because Dad had fallen asleep again. The couch got on fire. God, we never got new couches because my mom didn't want to waste the money on just to have cigarette holes all over it.
Wow.
Oh God, old school German.
My
Man,
dad's gone through a couple of those, especially in his younger days back home.
I would hire him as a coach. I would hire him as a coach at West Virginia football team right now.
Oh yeah, he would have a blast. He would show up. That's not how you burn a couch. Let me show you how to burn a couch. That's still the greatest story. I didn't know that was a tradition. When you taught that to me, I was like, "That is the greatest thing in the world." Like that's just...
The funny part is it's embedded in the law now. There's like a law against this thing.
Speaking of law, what's going on in my crazy city right now?
A lot of good things. A lot of good things, man.
Who got hired as the Dolphins coach?
Not really my city.
One of Kyle Shanahan's little boys.
I just
heard he
on the radio. I heard
he
on the
interviewed
radio
a
this
skirt.
evening. He's not black enough. Yeah.
The guy looks like a math professor more than a football coach. But okay.
Oh yeah, okay. I remember who you're talking about now. Yeah.
Like
he kind of looks like Specs from the Colts kicker.
Yeah.
Hot Rod.
Yeah, he looks a little like Hot Rod.
Yeah.
It's Hot Rod's older brother.
Right?
That's going to fix Tilla. I'm telling you right now. That's going to fix Tilla.
Shout out Rodrigo Blankenship.
Yeah, not the offensive line.
Not the offensive line. We don't care about that.
Yeah. Fuck that.
We just need to get a guy in here who knows how to handle a mobile quarterback. Okay.
Yeah, now.
Ray, are the Patriots going to re-sign Nelson?
Came down.
Sorry, stuff's going down on my nation's capital right now, so I'm just keeping up to date. Keeping up to date
It's
with
been
that.
going down. It's been going down at your nation's capital all day, going week.
No, but the reinforcements are there now. It's going down now. The organizers have all been arrested, and now there's a lot of.
People would like to hear about football, ladies and gentlemen.
No, I'm not talking about. I just want to know. No, it's. I'm just here to watch the riot. So I'm just here for the chaos.
They stormed the Capitol building and started stealing stuff out of the Oval Office.
Do you guys want to hear how really? Do you guys want to hear how unpolitical I am to real? So at the end of my podcast now, I say stupid things like, "Let me know what you think of Donald Trump. Tell me in the comments." Like I just say just things like, I know that's a unifying subject. So tonight I was like,
I just got demonetized and banned from YouTube. I brought his name up.
No, but I was like, so then I got to this part and I was like, let me know what you think about Joe Biden. Nobody tell me what you think. This is what I do. I'm like, let me know what you think about Joe Biden. And then I'm like, and the vice president, I'm like, and I'm looking at Mike, I'm like, Kamala. He's like, Kamala. I'm like, Kamala Harris. That's how unpolitic I am, that I really like. I could not remember the vice president of the United States. Now I'm Canadian, so I can get away with it. But anywho, I have just been watching.
Forget those names.
I've been watching the whole Ottawa thing, just waiting for the chaos to unfold, and I think we're getting to that point now. So it's
Joe Biden can't name his vice president.
Okay, I don't want to get into the political talk. I'm just saying I didn't know the vice president's name. That was the whole point.
Yeah, we're not going to get into politics.
I'm just saying I just drop stupid political questions right at the end of all my live shows now and just leave. I'm just like, come on, guys. Let's be unified. What do you guys think of the jab? That's what I did last night. Mike almost fell out of his seat. I'm like, Mike, I want to do a very unifying subject. And he's like, okay. I'm like, what does everybody think about the vaccine? He's just like, Unifying subjects. I think this all started because Ben Valen put something out last week. It was about jabs or masks, something to that. Oh no, it was about the NFL COVID numbers. And I retweeted. I'm like, what a unifying tweet. I'm like, this will be the first time we see the entire internet come together in peace and love. As it just turned into a shit show in the comments. So I just
getting back on track with football, Ray.
I didn't ask anybody for their opinion. I just like to. Who's Nelson?
I tried a half hour.
Yeah. He's still under contract. He's still got another year left. I think they're going to restructure him this year because he's a big hit.
You don't think they'll trade him away or something?
I don't think anybody's going to want him. He's got a ridiculous cap hit this year.
Yeah,
but I think they're going to restructure him. To be honest with you, Nelson, Agholor cap hit, because the Patriots aren't in a position to be able to absorb cap, and get rid of a player. Why are you trying to get Nelson Agholor?
I was just curious. We was asked that in the chat.
Somebody
earlier
was asking about it.
About Agholor and
so yeah,
Wentz
he's got
together.
He's got a $14 million cap hit this year.
And how much is that as bonuses that's going to be stuck with the Patriots if he's traded?
His bonuses are 5. He's $9 million base.
Yep.
Okay.
So you're still carrying $9 million of salary if you trade for him.
Yeah.
And he's a $10 million. So even with they trade though, he's a $10 million dead cap. So they're only saving $4 million by getting rid of him. And I know it's a big $4 million. I think they're gonna extend him this year. They're gonna restructure him.
Yeah. Yes.
And they're gonna backload his contract. I like Agholor as a number 2. That's the whole thing. I want the Patriots to get a legit X and move him to the Y.
What do you guys want? Okay. What do you guys want for Jacoby Myers?
He's a free agent. Sign him. I have already conceded.
No, come on.
No,
he's good.
Listen, if they can get a true X, I don't have a problem with Jacoby Myers, but if they can get a true X receiver, you have him as the number 1, you have Agholor as your Y, and you have Kendrick Bourne as your slot and utility guy. And I think Kendrick Bourne's a better receiver than Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers is more of our Edelman than Jacoby Myers is. However, it only works if they get an X.
Jacoby Myers is more of your Edelman than Jacoby Myers?
Sorry, Kendrick Bourne's more of our Edelman than Jacoby Myers.
Yes.
Kendrick Bourne's phenomenal. So that's why I'm fine with them moving on from Jacoby Myers. However, if Agholor is going to be the X this year, then they need Myers because he's got to be the number 2. The problem with Myers is he's not a true Y. He's not a true slot. He's definitely not an X. Like he's not a true anything, right? And it works when you want him.
He's like a poor man's Cup.
Kinda. Except Cup can be a true Y if you wanted to make him a true Y or a true slot. Cup wouldn't be an X, but he could be a Y or a slot. Where Myers doesn't, he's not quite a true anything in that standpoint, which is good when you're doing some plays.
Cooper Cup deserves X status because he won me $150.
You know what? Right.
You could be an amazing receiver and not be an X receiver. I mean, an X receiver is a specific.
I don't know.
Oh no, I wasn't.
Yeah, but let's be honest. Trying to win Goki money has got to be a miracle, right?
Yeah.
By the way, shout out to the great OLG for switching to normal people betting systems on sports bets. Proline shout out.
Anyways, I think that the Patriots need Agholor just didn't take the top off the way I thought he would. Like he just didn't take the top the way I thought he didn't stretch the field. That's what I'm looking for, the way I thought he would. Because I think he's actually a true Y. I think you need I got a question for you guys. And interesting. We were discussing this the other night. Okay, because I kind of made this comparison. So we were talking about Chris Godwin, right? Like, could he come in and be the X receiver for the Patriots? He's got the speed, he's got this, he's got that. But then I compared it to Mohamed Sanu, who, when he was playing with AJ Green and then with Julio Jones, was, an 800, 900-yard receiver, right? Because all the attention going the other way. Came to the Patriots to be kind of the number 1, play with Edelman, and he hasn't been the same since. And he hasn't played with a top flank receiver yet since then, right? Is Chris Godwin I mean, I'm not taking talent away from him, but from his status, is his status because of Mike Evans?
He's
Like,
only
is it?
he's only as good as the surrounding pieces. Yes, but
He needs a true X, I think, in order to be a good receiver in the NFL. He needs to have a true good X opposite the field of him.
plus,
Lawrence, you already had a good take on this earlier about
in my
he
opinion,
has the dropsies too. You were the one who
Yeah.
brought that up.
Yeah,
in
Godwin does have the
my
dropsy.
opinion, just quick, fast. In my opinion, I think Tampa Bay is going back to being Tampa Bay.
I heard that the number one team on Deshaun Watson's list is Tampa Bay.
Yep, that's what I hear too. Oh, Larry Brown, I've stated this a million times, talking about turning Hines into a slot. Now, I'm not saying turning him into a slot, keep him at the running back position, but a lot like what they did late in the season was, they bring him out in two running back formations and then motion him out into a slot.
Dude, the Patriots have been doing that with their guys for years. Rex Burkhead, Shane Vereen, and James White always have them lined up in the slot.
And if they did that with Hines more often, I think Hines would really do a fantastic job in the slot.
Is Hines your third down running
He can
back?
hold on to the ball. No, he's not a third down back.
He's a scat
Or is
back
he-
that can catch the football.
Is he your change of pace back, or is he just your scat back?
Well, when you think of change the pace back, you think, well, he's the faster guy. But Jonathan Taylor's pretty damn fast. So
I think sometimes to me, though, the change of pace guy to me at times can just be a guy who runs differently. You know what I mean? It's
he
just
does. He runs a lot different.
Because that's what I thought was actually as good as the Patriots' run game was this year. That's what I thought was
He's the dude we bring in when the intention's to give up the ball.
We didn't have the Rex Burkhead this year. You know what I mean? Which was our change, which was sort of like we only all our guys were all power guys. You know what I mean? We didn't have that Rex Burkhead to come in and change the pace.
LeGarrette Blount, baby.
Okay, so how I look at these guys, now I'm not going to say they're on the same levels, okay? But you kind of look at it as if Jonathan Taylor would be your Bo Jackson, right? Like that, the power, very fast guy, right? And then you turn around and Hines is more of an LT, LaDainian Tomlinson type, kind of quick, looks for holes where he can explode to, got some hands, that's kind of the change of pace where you're talking about where they're two different style running backs.
Yes. So one doesn't have to be faster or slower than the other. It has to be a different skill set and a different kind of run, right? Like
Hines is more twitchy. You know what I mean?
Well, Jonathan Taylor is honest to God. Jonathan Taylor, when he runs, he reminds me of a very young Le'Veon Bell in the sense of his patience to wait for that hole. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
he learned that from Marlon Mack.
I would say
Bell was really the receiver to really make that famous, right? That sort of that hesitation, that sort of like wait for the hole to open up and then take off.
More LaDainian Tomlinson, bro.
LT would make holes for himself, though. That's the difference between some of these guys. LT could force a hole for himself. LT is. I know people appreciate LT, but I think because he played for the Chargers, who constantly disappointed in the postseason, I think that it's taken some of the shine off of how friggin' good he really was. Because
he was a first ballot. Wasn't he a first ballot?
Oh yeah,
yeah, but that doesn't mean that just because you're a first ballot Hall of Famer doesn't mean people still hold you in the regard that I think you should. If you would have had a ring, I think that the conversation, because nobody talks about LT,
bro.
I mean, real hardcore football fans.
You play for the Chargers and you're a first ballot Hall of Famer. I think people understood how great he was.
I don't think they did.
I agree with Ray because you sit there and you look back and Barry Sanders, that name's going to withstand the test of time just because
Emmitt Smith.
Of all the miraculous.
No, you can't put Emmitt Smith in the same.
Emmitt won 3 Super Bowls though, Bob.
No, but that's why I look at a Barry Sanders, because as much as Detroit has sucked, Detroit is still a marquee team. You know what I mean? They're still a team that
are they though?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
They're one of the they're one of the biggest revenue makers in the NFL. Did you know that? Like they're like in the top 10 for revenue in the NFL. Detroit has a loyal loyal fan base, and they have fans. I'm not shitting you, outside of Detroit. Like, they have a team that follows. And I'm not saying, listen, this room here appreciates LaDainian Tomlinson. I'm not talking about this room.
Mhm.
This room is a different room, and you guys know that. There's you know what I mean? Like, there's guys like us, and I'm not saying we're smarter than anybody, but there's guys like us that spend too much time paying attention to football.
Because we watched them play. I'm not generation not to watch it.
No, we spend way too much of our lives
Too much
paying
time
attention to the game of football.
watching football.
I'm
the guys
talking,
Or the guys that create the point of view, and we're confident enough in it that we'll tell
if
legacy media the full shit.
If I said to my dad, tell me the top 5 receiver or running backs of all time, you'd have the easy ones, the Barry Sanders, Jim Brown, you know what I mean? Like, and then you get to 4 and 5 and you start struggling. LaDainian Tomlinson would never come out of his mouth. Now,
Correct.
if I said, how about LaDainian Tomlinson? Now, he might not pick him a top 5. I'm just saying, if I said LT, he'd go, oh, yeah, Tomlinson was really good, but he's not a name that immediately, he's almost like a Dan Marino. He's not a name that immediately pops to your head, because I think Marino gets disrespected all the time in the all-time quarterback conversations, right? He's never in that conversation. He's in my top 5 of all time.
Yeah.
He was a really good player who played on awful teams.
Ray,
right?
Yeah.
Ray, just in case you're about to dip out, brother, because I'm afraid you might.
Yes, and I am. It's a good call.
Where would you put Ben Roethlisberger in that top echelon of all-time quarterbacks?
I love that I get to say this in the dip.
Look at Joe. Look at Joe.
Nope. Don't
Dude,
do it.
Right now.
Don't do it.
Right now. He's number 10 on my list.
3 years.
Don't do it.
At this moment right now, he's number 10 on my list.
Okay.
So which means he won't be a top 10 for much longer, because I think there's this new generation. One of them is probably going to bump him out, but I have him number 10 on my list.
Are guys
I do want to say something.
Are guys from this generation already up there though?
No.
No.
Already up there?
No.
Oh,
no.
I need to see longevity. I can't. Even Mahomes. If Mahomes retired today, he would have played 4 years in the NFL and won 1 Super Bowl. He's not a top 10. Could he be a top 10? Yeah, absolutely. He could be number 1 at some point, but a 4-year career is not enough for me.
Okay.
I just want to point out that LaDainian Tomlinson has single season running back records, like busted, like blown out, like 2,300 all scrimmage yards, 2,300 scrimmage yards. That's ridiculous. 31 touchdowns in a season.
He was a TD making machine. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But in a regular Joe conversation, his name doesn't come up the way it should. Wow. And I think it's because he was a Charger and he doesn't have a ring. But he's friggin' phenomenal. Megatron's another one, right? Early retirement.
What about Jamal Lewis from the Ravens?
Retirement.
What about Jamal Lewis from the Ravens?
Yeah, you can't not with the whole.
No.
I think his extracurricular off-field activities kind of knock him right out of that.
Yeah. He had one
knock him right out.
It's like,
and let's be honest, that team did not win with their offense. That team
he had one good
defense.
Yeah, it's very much like and take what happened away. It's like Ray Rice, right? I mean, he had a phenomenal season, and then.
Even without that, Jamal Lewis had one good season, and that was pretty much it.
There's a few guys out there. It's funny too, like when we talk about tight ends, because you always see the and we're such NFL fans are such prisoner of the moment. You know what I mean? Like, oh, Travis Kelce's the greatest of all time, and I'm like. Dude, I argue I have problems because I look at Gronk and I want to crown him, but I look at guys like Tony Gonzalez. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Shannon Sharp.
Shannon Sharp. Yes, there's
so
many of those guys.
Who's got to be up there for me also?
Christensen.
Antonio
Raiders back in the day.
Antonio Gates.
Antonio Gates.
Another Charger. Another Charger, though, right? Let's dude, that team. Imagine if they would have kept Drew Brees.
Oh, I know.
No, but I mean, I'm not going to knock Phillip Rivers again. That team their best chance, I want to say, was the 06 season. I think they lost to the Patriots in the divisional round, and that was the season if they were going to win, and that was because that was Indy Super Bowl 06, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
My dad, to this day, he's a Pats fan, but to this day, he says if the Patriots would have lost to the Chargers, he believes they would have beat Indy. But we don't know. I hate playing the hypothetical game. And I don't want to get yelled at by Loyalists right now. I saw the face just drop when I said that. But I said my father said it, not me. But that to me was their best chance that year, was that 06 year. And they crapped out in the playoffs again. That's just what they did.
Well, they lived in a conference with the Patriots, the Colts, and the Steelers during that period of time. And that's what did them in.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Anyways, gents, I have to go record my podcast. Appreciate you having me on. Thank you so much.
We'll see you tomorrow, Ray.
Some M&Ms, Bob.
Yes.
Grab some
yes,
M&Ms.
that's what I'm going to go do now. Thanks, fellas.
We'll see you tomorrow.
All right, brother.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so I mean, like you talk about that. Okay, so the other part of this too is, all right, I did hear that Eric Ebron's knee is good to go. He's a free agent this year.
We don't want him. Thank you. We had him already.
Let's be honest.
It was a joke.
Let's be honest. He had us.
He had the Steelers too. So, he wasn't and the Lions.
He's a free agent. His knee's good to go. He said it on Twitter.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm just saying. I'm just putting that out there. Okay.
Well, I hear that a certain tight end didn't work out for the Jaguars this past offseason. Let's get it. Here's an interesting question from Smooth. He says, "You're Deshaun Watson. How do you walk into a different NFL locker room with the allegations that are hanging over your head?"
You don't.
You really want my honest answer?
You don't.
Honestly,
No one's gonna take you with those allegations.
YouTube doesn't, Joe.
You start using a guy as a masseuse.
YouTube doesn't.
you get Robert Kraft as your agent.
See,
Where's right now?
I appreciate
Get right back here.
I appreciate
Matt,
myself. I appreciate
Matt,
that you can be in here and have fun at that.
That was good. That was good. I'll give you that one. That was good.
I don't think locker rooms would have too much trouble with the Deshaun Watson because it wasn't anything on the field. And let's be honest. You get in these locker rooms where mostly guys and we talk differently than we do, in from a camera or whatever. So I think the locker room will be all right with accepting Deshaun Watson as long as he's got everything cleared up.
Was she good?
Get it all. Yeah. Well, think about it. He's got all those out, like 23 allegations or something, but they're all allegations, and not a single one allegations. Not a single one of them are sticking. It's all, the NFL didn't have enough to put him down this year.
Yeah.
The Texans did it themselves.
And it's like a bad fart.
Yeah. That's all it is. It's all it is at this point is allegations. So, I don't know.
And it's civil.
I don't know if it'll. I don't think it's gonna last much longer. I don't think it'll last past this offseason. He'll probably get somewhere.
Does he? Does he play next year? Really?
I think. Yeah, I think.
I think he will. I think he will.
Okay.
Yep.
In this climate, with so many
whatever
people that are chasers of the bad headlines, so to speak.
After the Raiders, how many more chances did a certain former Steelers wide receiver get?
Don't put me in that.
I didn't
don't put me in that, okay?
I'm just talking about Antonio Brown. He was a bad headline connoisseur, right?
3.
And he still got plenty of chances afterwards. Don't be surprised if he gets another one after walking out on Tampa during the season.
Right.
Here's two things I like to say on that. First off, two of those times he had an ace in the hole named Tom Brady. You know what I mean? Saying, hey, I want this guy, and so on and so forth. Secondly, I think that's your last part as far as him coming back. I think the fact that he wronged Tom Brady, the fact the way things went down, I'm not so sure that there is a team that would take that risk again. Because, I mean, there was a lot of things that were done to allow the AB situation to be possible at Tampa. Because let's be honest, it wasn't like Arians was going, oh, can I have him? You know, I mean, that wasn't quite the read I got on that situation. And the thing is if it wasn't,
BA never actually wanted him. Like that.
I know, and that was my point. And with TB, it's like, okay, I can sit there and tell, Joe Blow, no, okay, but Tom Brady's a little bit different. I mean, you're like, oh, okay, you want a weapon? All right, here. I wish I could duplicate it. The Chiefs. Well, there you go.
Well, yeah, they got Brittany and Jackson already, so why not? Yeah,
might as well get
another one.
Tyreek is already up there. Yeah.
I get you, Speed. He says, but AB isn't a quarterback, which is a franchise position. I get it. I get you, but at the same time,
but if the right quarterback wants you,
if you're cleared,
yeah,
and nothing can be proven, then you can't hang that on somebody's head.
Correct.
Because, this is America, and right now, everybody is flat out going against the rule of innocent until proven guilty. And they automatically making him guilty until proven innocent. And even when even if he's proven innocent, there will be people out there that still say that he's guilty, that he got off, that he just pulled an OJ Simpson or something.
Number one, it's not a criminal; it's a civil.
Yeah,
there's a difference.
Mm-hmm. Well, there are criminal complaints behind that, but I'm going to say this as politely as I can. Believe me, as much politely as I can. I understand the other side of that. When you're the guy, okay, and you have people who want to, get a piece of what you're doing, and then it turns bad on you because then you find out you're not the girl or whatever, and then it's sour grapes all of a sudden. And I think that might have had something to do with it. I'm trying to frame this as politely as I can. I'm not trying to, project, exactly what I think happened or what I know happened or any of that kind of stuff. Because there may have been some type of malfeasance on his part. We don't know that. We don't know, but I do understand the other perspective on this where, you've got people who want to look no further than Brittany and Jackson Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is an accomplished quarterback. What are these two scrubs doing? And what are they doing? I mean, and so now then something turns bad with that relationship, and then all of a sudden there's lawsuits flying, and it's kind of the same type of thing. But like I said, I'm not a freaking lawyer or any of that kind of stuff, and I'm not trying to project or say or give the guy an excuse if he did something wrong. I'm just saying, like, I could kind of see the other side of this where. All right. Anyway, more polite subject.
I'd like to just say one thing, to the point of the fact that it's a quarterback. I mean, the Michael Vick situation. Okay. I guess as far as
that was a little different.
Yeah, it was a little different, but honestly, let's be honest. You're sitting there talking about a masseuse or whatever and unjust touching or whatever versus animals and killing the animals. I'm saying that, you still had that image, that was up there and things, and people were able to look past that. He went and did his time. Right now, it's not looking like, at least to this point, there's not been any evidence that Deshaun's going to serve any time. You know what I mean? And yet was still able to come back and take another shot at it as far as Vic was.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why I was trying not to compare the accusations.
Right.
I was just saying.
Exactly. It's kind of like, well,
guys, I want to jump off of this whole conversation actually right now.
Yeah,
we're
probably a good idea.
Kind of killing it here.
Yeah. We'd rather just say what we're feeling.
Jack, you have anything you want to bring up, talk about?
Let's do that, Jack. Give us the switch up.
Yeah. Well, not really.
No, not really.
Come on, teach us.
Is there an NFL player out there that you'd like to see the Colts go grab?
Hunter Renfrow.
He's on a contract.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, no.
In my dream world, though, why not?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dream world, go get Patrick Mahomes or something. Since we've got it, since we have to be reality based.
Too many interceptions this last year, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'll say if we're going to go that route. I'll take Josh Allen. I actually think Josh Allen is my guy. I've been a fan of Josh for a while. And I'm not a Patrick Wentz or Patrick Wentz. There you go. Talk about the interceptions, and then that comes up. Patrick Mahomes. I'm not a Patrick Mahomes hater by any means. I think he's a fantastic quarterback, but I don't know. I
he's got all the same talents. He's just able to take a hit a little bit better. As far as Josh Allen. He's just gonna, you feel like he's gonna be more durable. At least I do, because I'm like you. I like Patrick Mahomes. You want to offer me Patrick Mahomes? Sure. Here's my arm. Take it. Whatever. But,
right.
But you know what I mean? Yeah. I like you said, I like what Josh Allen brings as far as just durability.
Would you give up Jonathan Taylor, Quenton Nelson, and Darius Leonard for Patrick Mahomes?
No.
Stop it. You said Quenton Nelson? Get out of here.
I said, no, I didn't just say Quenton Nelson.
I know, but you lost me at Quenton Nelson. So.
I bet there's a lot of people out there to take that trade right now. Colts fans.
No, thank you.
I'm just saying.
Nope.
Okay, and I'm just answering. No, thank you.
I got you. I'm just saying. If I put that up on Twitter as a hypothetical trade, and which of course no one would do. No one, neither organization would make that trade. That would be like the biggest trade in NFL history. But I don't see that happening at all because we're talking about four loved players.
Could you see Patrick Mahomes and his entourage, I think they called him earlier, here in Indiana? Oh my gosh.
They would last about 20 minutes.
Oh, I'm sure they'd last because, it's just social media is strong, but man, it would not.
You know what would happen? Some Colts fans would start dumping beer on Brittany.
Yeah, right.
My God.
Yeah, you remember this? Okay, okay. We don't
need those lines that she crossed, I would imagine.
Colts fans booed our quarterback because he retired, okay?
Yeah. That's true.
Well, it was more about how they got the information too.
Yeah, that sucked.
We don't do champagne here. We do beer.
That's another situation. That's another situation that won't happen.
Ooh, I like that, Larry Brown. Shout out to you, sir.
It won't happen. Cincinnati's not giving up Joe Burrow. That'd be like the Colts being like, it's 2014. We had Andrew Luck 2 years. We're going to trade him off.
That's the scenario where I would consider Quenton for Joe Burrow, maybe.
Now, wait a minute. Let me ask you this. What did Joe Burrow do his rookie year? What was his stats?
He was
busted his knee. He had one.
He blew up his knee.
He blew up his knee.
But my point is what was his stats? He was okay, but he wasn't. My point is if you bring Joe Burrow.
6 games.
Hang on. My point is if you bring Joe Burrow, you also have to bring Jamar Chase. to get that moment, to get that performance that the Bengals got this year. We don't have a Jamar Chase on our team. You know what I mean? So there again.
No, and he would want Jamar Chase himself.
That's what I just said. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you didn't hear me because,
No, I did, brother. I did. He would want Jamar Chase. Like him and Jamar Chase go together. Like peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, Jamar even bought out Burrow's neighbor's house so they could live next to each other.
Oh my goodness!
I'm surprised they didn't just buy a big bunk bed and just live.
Does Joe Burrow's mom have one of those twin baby pushers that they just both jump in at the same time?
Well, they probably got bunk beds. They probably got bunk beds. I mean,
one of the greatest movies of all time.
They probably fight over the top bunk every night, because
one of the greatest movies for me is like Remember the Titans, and I sort of picture Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow doing the strong side, weak side.
Yeah, so I don't know. But like I said, I heard Eric Ebron's a free agent. So I mean, if Doyle retires, he might want to. He says his knee's okay.
Okay.
I mean, if you don't want to pay for Gesicki, I mean, Ebron's on the market. I'm just saying.
I'll tell you guys the truth right now, YouTube. Eric Ebron is the only active. Actually, he's the only player that I've ever blocked. But he was still an active Colts player when I decided to go on that route.
Oh, on Twitter.
You can take that for what it is.
Yeah.
I think he was too much of a
He never did anything in Pittsburgh, but
Larry, yes, it was an MCL sprain, but not a tear. There's no surgery needed. That's just recuperation. Take a couple weeks, and he's good to go.
Yeah.
Right. So if they don't get him an offensive line, that's going to be an issue.
Yeah,
that's going to be a big issue.
Joe, did you see the meme on Facebook today?
About what?
Joe Burrow at age 30 with Andrew Luck's picture at the retirement podium at Lucas Oil.
Yeah. They had that meme up.
I did not see that today.
Yeah, I seen that.
I know this ain't Colts related or anything, but what do you think about like the whole LA thing and everybody, Donald talking about, contemplating retirement, McVay contemplating retirement and stuff.
McVay already said he's coming back.
Did he? Today.
Right after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he didn't release a statement, but I think on his wife's Instagram, he said like this guy's not retiring or something like that, and he had a drink in his hand or something like that.
I actually heard it talking to the boys on NFL Network at the post game party kind of thing, like on the field, not any party or nothing. It was on NFL Network, so it was at SoFi on the field. He was like, "No, I'm gonna keep building this team, and we got to do this kind of thing."
Well, when it comes to a player, he's gonna think about it, but he's not gonna retire. He's at the top of his game still.
You're 35 years old as a coach, and you're coaching all these savages, man. Why would you?
I'm not even talking about the coach. I'm talking about Aaron Donald. I don't think he retires either. I think he'll play at least 2-3 more years minimum.
Well, how old is Aaron Donald? He's young.
Yes, he's very young.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that was sort of my thing. It's just becoming more popular for these guys
Aaron Donald.
Aaron
Donald is 30 years old.
Aaron Donald's 30.
He's going to be 31 this next year.
But some of these guys are retiring a little bit earlier and stuff, and taking
for an interior defensive lineman, that's not too old. I mean, he's let me see, he's under contract. Oh, hell, where the hell did it go? I think I closed
another 1 or 2 years at least. I think
2.
Oh, I think he'll have 2 or 3 at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if he plays 4 years, he's 34 years old.
So yeah, I mean, I don't see that happening. He's I don't see it happening. Let me check it out. Interior defensive lineman. He's under contract through 2024.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, is Cameron Hayward retiring?
I seriously doubt it. Seriously doubt it. Now, I don't see that happening, and that's what I'm talking about. I think you can put those guys in the same kind of conversation, even though Aaron Donald is a better player than Cam Hayward. I mean, I'm not going to dispute that. My concern with Pittsburgh is whether or not Stephon Tuitt comes back and plays like Stephon Tuitt plays. That's going to be my concern. Excuse me?
Tuitt's only 28.
Yeah. Well, missed him a whole bunches and bunches in the run game this year.
Yeah, I know. Well, guys, looks like we're kind of slowing down a little bit here on the YouTube. I don't know. I thought we had a pretty good conversation. Yeah, I mean, we covered a whole bunch of stuff in 2 hours. Heck yeah. Guys, I'm going to drop one more.
If you ask, just a sec, if you ask me, I think this was actually our most in-depth conversation of the whole season.
Maybe.
I wouldn't go that far, but it was pretty good.
It was pretty good. I'm gonna drop go check out my boy, and not just him. I mean, it doesn't matter what team you follow, right? The Backroom Collection is awesome, and they got a lot of great stuff there. This channel is proudly sponsored by the Backroom Collection. They do beautiful sports canvas art with football, basketball, baseball, and other sports themes. Special orders are accepted, and autograph pieces are available. Many Indianapolis Colts signed pieces will be available beginning in November. Just use your discount code CL10 to purchase the pieces you want to spice up your living area. That's CL10. Well, that was weird.
Hit that. Smash that like button.
Give that
subscribe. I got notification bell so that you can be notified the next time that we go live.
I can't imagine anybody buying a Kirk Cousins one of those.
I can.
Hit the like button.
Kirk Cousins is probably going to buy one for himself.
Yeah, he'd be the only one.
As you should. And be sure to use promo code CL10.
CL10.
There you go.
See, look at that. I don't even have to voice my stuff, man. You guys know it by heart. You've seen my shit so much.
and don't forget to check out the Patreon and the Discord.
The Patreon,
yeah, exactly.
The best $5 USD ever spent.
Awesome. I appreciate each and every one of you, including all you guys, including the ones that ain't here right now, for joining in here and having a nice little football conversation and conversation about other stuff that wasn't about football, but you know, it is what it is. Thank you, Ray.
Real quick, who's gonna watch the USFL?
Man, you know we can't live without football.
I know.
It's I'm hoping to watch a lot.
Is the XFL going to happen this year?
USFL.
Not the
USFL.
Yeah,
USFL.
is.
I know, but I was wondering, is that the old XFL?
No,
I thought that disbanded.
USFL is like a 1980s reboot, man.
I thought the Rock.
The XFL is being brought back by the Rock for a third time. That's a whole different league.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh Maulers Pittsburgh Maulers just released their uniforms today.
Wait,
I don't like the colors too much, but
are they bringing back the women's league where they run around in bikinis and
bikinis? Oh yeah. No, don't get this conversation started with Joe in here.
What are you talking about?
I'll be right back, Jack.
Come on.
Orlando had a team. Orlando had a team.
Well, I got fingers pointing at me. What are you talking about?
Joe, I watched too many halftime shows with you with cheerleaders.
What are you talking about? Are you talking about the one with the guy with the toilet seat? I mean, is that...
No, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining. I'm Lawrence Owen. That's Colts Loyalist, and Joe and Brandon and Matt and Kofsky and Jack, all the way there at the bottom. Appreciate each and every one of you. And until next time, I'm Lawrence Owen. This is Colts Law. And as usual, have a good one.
Just because a player's not a household name doesn't mean we can't make him a household name.